what to write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Spending time all alone, sending my songs through the phone, dreaming of a better home while focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft. I hope the Bluez let this last. I don't know.
That was the great sounds of Watson with Outside on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ Bluez is in the building. EZ Bluez, who do we have with us today on Behind the Brand?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you a story. See, this is a story about a journey, okay? This journey comes from outside of the United States. This journey starts as a musician's journey. It turns into an education journey. It turns into an independent business person journey. This journey is an incredible soul that came here to fully realize her dreams, and she linked up with a coven of sorts to fully realize them. This is a person and a business that started out when most businesses were starting to fold. And not only have they been surviving, they have been thriving by reimagining what a common thrift shop is, by understanding that experience is just as important. I froze, didn't I? My back.
In and out.
I froze for a second. Okay, cool. You know, these people came there, and during, obviously, we try not to talk about it as much as possible, but during the pandemic, actually released a brick and mortar store while everyone else was going towards just online only. And it has been incredible. They are phenomenal for the community, not only the musicians community, but the LGBTQ plus community. So I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving. If you're driving, you keep your hands attended to, because we don't want any accidents, okay? So put your hands together for the absolutely amazing, and I love that I get to say this word on the air. I'm gonna say it with all my Samuel L. Jackson that's necessary. Put your hands together for Witch Bitch Thrift. What's going on, ladies? How are you?
Hi. It's so nice to be here.
It's to be here. Virginia, you and I, and actually, and Prestige, we've known each other for a while. We've been on adventures that we can't talk about on, terrestrial radio. But, we were all there. We were all there. It happened. We'll talk about it later. But what is absolutely incredible about this, and I'm going to make the first couple of minutes kind of about you, just because I am such a fan of you as a human being, as a musician. You are still one of my favorite art there. And, I'm not going to needle you to put more music out there, but, you should put more music out there. But on top of all of that, your drive has been absolutely amazing. And what put all to put all this together? What inspired Bitch?
What inspired Witch Bitch?
A combination of things.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but also not at the same time. So Amanda and I go also way back. We've been friends for, I think, 8 years now. 8 years. And since the first year of being friends, we knew we were going to have a business together. We didn't know what it was. We're we know one day we're going to run this business, and
we didn't rush it. We knew when the time was right, the opportunity would come.
I don't think we ever we never pursued it. We got to figure that out. We're just okay,
it'll be one day.
It will be. And then one day, Witch Bitch just appeared in I just messaged Amanda. I was what if we do a thrift shop, and what if we call it Witch Bitch Thrift? And Amanda was yes. I was do you want to do it? And she's yes, because who knows? And we're let's just do it as a side gig. Let's just do a side gig. This Witch Bitch Thrift little Instagram.
We were cleaning out our closet. That's really That's where it started. We were like, so many clothes and nowhere to wear it.
Because it's the quarantine. And like, but at the same time, like before quarantine, I was very basic with my outfits. Like I was the kind of girl that was always in like jeans and a t-shirt. But because I was stuck at home, I started wearing all these ridiculous outfits like in my house, like because I'm bored and I need to create. So I started wearing all the clothes I never wore before. And I was like, why am I not wearing things? Like, why am I not actually?
You would send me outfits. You'd be like, this is fun.
Yeah. I never knew it was fun to dress up. I never knew I would be into clothes or like fashion or anything like that. It never occurred to me. I always admired Amanda's outfits.
I don't know why, but
she doesn't believe me, but I always thought you dressed up really cute and like you had like layering and things going on. And I was always just like in my hoodies or whatever, like, you know, but now my eyes were open and I was like, we got to do stuff.
Well, it's really interesting, and I'm going to take it back a little bit further because, you know, as you're pursuing the music, you also had this incredible Etsy store where you would make, you know, these creations as per like your wooden spoons or you have the leather journals and stuff like that. So it seemed like that is an amazing transition, but also a very natural one. And I love that the story is you guys are friends. You know, all of a sudden you're like do a business together. You know, it's similar to me and Steve. We're like, hey, we're friends. We should do more things together. Most people would be like, let's go to movies. We're like, let's put on a radio. So we understand.
Yeah. It just makes everything better.
Now,
like,
what was it like to transition from? Yeah, no, it definitely does. I'm going to move because my connection's getting weird. But what was it like to transition from online to now having a brick and mortar?
Everything.
We didn't intend on having a brick and mortar so quickly. We just ran out of space at Virginia's apartment. Honestly, we were getting a little tired of working out of bins and broken vacuum bags and
we had those like storage bags that you're like supposed to like vacuum and like, you know, the air compressor bags and like, and then we moved to bins and then like, but basically Eva and I had no more living room. It was just like witch bitch overtuck. And we just really like, we're like, we need to find a space to work out of. And that was the whole goal, was just to have like an HQ, like to work out of for the online thing. Like this was not intended. That was absolutely accidental.
We were just, I would say, in the right place at the right time. And Virginia had remembered the place that we're at now, the Bridgeport Innovation Center. Virginia had remembered it and reached out. And, you know, when we say the stars aligned for this, like it was really, like we had looked at it in December and then a lot of life stuff happened and we had to pause our search. And then in February,
like January, February,
our current landlord reached out to us and was like, hey, do you still want that space? And we're like, that's a sign. And they let us create here. They let us create a space and we were like, we like walked in here. It was awful.
It was so bad.
So ugly. But
it was bad.
Like, we had a vision. We had this, we were like, this
we saw
amazing.
potential.
Yeah. We saw a lot.
And I think that it wasn't until then that it hit us. Like, what is stopping us from taking, like, first it was taking appointments. Yeah. Like, we could just take appointments here and, like, we can set it up like a shop and we can work out of here, but take appointments for people to shop here. And then it all kind of, like, snowballed from there. Like, it became that, and then it became shop hours, and then it became, like, and then we got an extra room, and now we have, like, a bathroom.
And
like,
now we have, like, community stuff going on, and
we're hosting our first event here tonight, which is so cool. We're like just starting to get into like community building events. And we're hosting our first one here tonight. So we've been doing a lot of stuff, and it really was like none of it was like a whole plan. It just unfolded as we went.
It's just opportunities that we couldn't ignore. that we just had to keep saying yes. We just had to keep saying yes. And this was like, we moved in, I was still working full time as a teacher. So this was like during, I didn't stop doing that until June. So that was like amidst also trying to work around all that. And we were like, this isn't the right time, but like, what
There's
how
never
can
a
we
right
say
time.
no?
If there's
So-
one thing that I can say, there's never a right time
Yeah.
for anything.
No.
So you just gotta do it.
Right.
Gotta do the thing.
Just gotta do the thing. No,
Yeah.
that's so true. Now, what is it like to transition from an educator to an entrepreneur?
I don't even, I was a preschool teacher. And so I had a lot of creativity in that sense because I had a very like fun preschool environment. I was very lucky to work in an awesome school. So I had a lot of creative like stuff going on inside of me. And it was just like kind of putting it in another place at this point and like finding, you know, ways to incorporate things I enjoyed about preschool into a new business. Like I enjoy arts and crafts. Like
We do a lot
can
of
do
that.
that here, you know? And it's just been, through the support of my old coworkers and everything. And like, the transition has just been like amazing, honestly. Like, it's just been really cool. It didn't hit me until I went back, when I started driving in September after like school was back. And I was like, oh, wow, this is like the first time I'm not driving to school in the fall. But I love it. Then
And it's been nice watching her go through the transition too. Because like even before Witch Bitch, like I've been self-employed for 6 years. So like I have been out of like that loop for a while. But it was nice to experience that like vicariously through Amanda to just watch her go through
autonomy
being
is
like,
weird. Yeah.
I can literally do whatever I want.
It's like, wait, I can make a doctor's appointment at this time and then go to it.
and
I
not
don't have to
worry.
yeah.
And we're very,
Right.
we're like fluid about our
Yeah.
like life here. Like we're not, no one's like chained here. So
No.
we come and go very freely as we need to. And I think that's very different when you've been like on a set schedule for
I
a
didn't
long
realize
time.
how much of my life was dictated to me until it wasn't. And then I was like, okay.
And no, that's such a huge thing because, you know, we tell people all the time, especially with dealing with behind the brand, when you become an entrepreneur, you know, you're now working for your dreams. Before, you really are, even in the education field, which is extremely important. And I love, you know, everyone in the education field when they're doing the right thing and not pushing their own nonsense. But that's another story for another time. Had a moment with my oldest and a health teacher that isn't very open-minded. But I digress. I don't want to get angry. But you know, you're working for someone else's dreams when you're working for somebody else. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, because for some people, that is the dream. For some people, their dream is, I want to be able to, you know, have a guaranteed paycheck. I want to be able to make sure that I'm making my mortgage payments on time. I want to alleviate that extra stress of what it is to be an entrepreneur. And being an entrepreneur has a whole set of stressors that are
It's
there.
not for the faint of heart.
No. And I'm a big fan of giving flowers now. And Virginia, I really, you inspired me to take something that I was just kind of doing as a hustle and to convert into a legitimate business.
Nice.
And, you know, there would be no of the marketing success of the new project without really understanding what you did and having that example in front of us. So thank you so much for that.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. That's great. That's crazy. I feel like a lot of the times, like we underestimate ourselves, like the impact that doing something like this has on other people. Like, and every time we hear something like that, we're like, oh my God. That's so cool.
Well, and you know, I wish we were in a society that we conditioned ourselves to do that more, because I do feel it's needed, especially coming through the pandemic and coming through everything being such a virtual society. Having these real moments of, you know, true affection and, you know, just unconditional, support and love is so important. And that's one of the reasons why we do what we do. And I just think it's incredible. And I love your story, and I love your growth through the entire journey. The minute you said you were going back to school to get your degree in music, I was like, oh, that's going to be amazing. She's going to be awesome. The minute you jumped on stage to act, I was like, oh, she's going to kill it. And
I just never stop. I'm always doing something.
Virginia, we're
exactly.
Blues. It's the minute I gotta say WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ Blues is in the building. Which bitch Thrift is with us on Behind the Brand. Let us continue your story. Go ahead, EZ Blues.
Well, Virginia, you have a really amazing personal story, and in your lyrics as well, you tell an incredible narrative that really isn't spoken of a lot, and that's a shame. And what I'm seeing you do in Which Bitch Thrift is also that. Like, anybody who's ever watched old 90s movies, when have to go to that one bookstore that has that one book they need to defeat the evil place. I'm looking behind you because you guys are in the store right now. For the viewers that are watching this on video, they're in the store. This is the store you go to.
This is where we go.
This is where you I'm living some of my incredible adolescence right now in this moment. And it's surreal and I love it. I kind of expect Bette Midler to pop out from cabinet behind you and ask the children,
We're in the pumpkin patch.
Yeah, exactly. That's
there's literally pumpkins on the floor.
That's amazing.
They're
amazing.
all around us. I wish you could see under it. They're there's just pumpkins on the floor. We're just sitting around the pumpkins. Yeah.
Sitting around some pumpkins. Yeah. It's just a normal day at the shop. We're just gonna sit here and hang out with some pumpkins. That's the realness of the shop. That's there are some people who will look at it as being gimmicky. And I know for a fact there's not a gimmick in this. This is actually who you are. This is I don't I say this of Virginia, because I know her pretty well. And this is 100% who you are.
And it is Amanda too. It's both of us. If we've talked about everything about this business is an extension of who we are individually, but also as friends. We've always gone thrifting. We've always been into witchy stuff. Everything has always been there. We've always been gay. It's always been a part of who we are. We're just kind of we wish this place existed. We wish there was a place that was like this. And we're we can just make it happen. And that's what we're doing. The more we're growing and pushing things in the directions that we're pushing them, it's okay, we'll send out whatever it is. We sent out a newsletter today, and I sent showed it to Amanda. I was okay, would you be excited to receive this? That's what we'll ask each other a lot. Would you be excited about this? Would you be into this? And then we gauge things.
And we channel our younger selves a lot too. When we are trying to see is this something that our judgmental 15-year-old selves would think is cool? Mm-hmm. Yes. We're doing that right then.
Yeah, it's so true, and it's so necessary to really confront the 15-year-old self, because when we were 15, we knew what cool was. I mean, we didn't know what life was, but we knew what cool was, or we knew that it was a little bit too trendy or too cool as for the society, and we wanted nothing to do with that because we were better than that, and it's amazing. They say when you find something you love, and you do that as a profession, you never work a day. Which, yes and no, because there is still all those extra stressors and rent and lights and so you're still kind of working and you're still hustling, but you're having a lot more fun with it. And when you're working with someone or people that you have this incredible relationship with, and you can bounce these ideas, you can say, is this going to work? Is this who we are as a brand? Is this who we are as individuals? You know, is this the truly extension of ourselves, or are we starting to get cartoony? All of these things are extremely, extremely important. And I really love how you do this. And the main thing that I really, really love about what you guys do are these incredible bundles. Now, people go thrifting all the time. You go and you spend some time in the store. You're looking for the good value, trying to put pieces together. Like, I love doing stuff like that. But you guys took it a step further. You guys almost have like this incredible membership thing I really want to get into. I really want to highlight because I love this about your business. See, I do research. I pay attention.
I think it's all like, I don't even know. Like, it just comes naturally that way. Like, that's the way we see it, and that's the way it comes out. Like, it's a whole. There's so much more to it. Like, it's not. It started as just a clothes, but then now it's just evolving and taking its own shape, and we're not holding it back. We're just like letting it grow and letting it do what it has to do. Like, it feels like this entity that's like above us. It's like beyond us. It's bigger than us at this point, and we're just
letting it
here.
guide us. Really, at this point, it's like we've talked about this before. It's like we feel sometimes we've been like given like an opportunity to like ourselves offer an opportunity, like offer experience for other people. Like we are able to help create a safe place, a fun place, like a sustainable, like environmentally friendly place, all these things that are important to us. So
yeah.
Well, we don't shy away from uncomfortable conversations or topics on the show. We actually really fully engage them. And I really want to talk about the importance of having a safe place to go to when you are LGBT plus, when you are someone who identifies as Wiccan, or we are in a society that no matter how much we have evolved and we have moved in incredible directions, and it's because of uncomfortable conversations like this that we can continue to grow. So I don't want to say, I don't want to knock it, but also it's still tough, and I see it tough being, a cis white straight male. I can only imagine, what like Prestige goes through, or what you guys, have to go through. So thank you for creating that safe place, but let's really get into, because, everything kind of exploded in the past 2 years, safe space became kind of like an insult. But let's talk about the importance of it, and let's talk about what it truly is, because having a space where it is okay to be yourself is an amazing thing. And so why don't you guys talk about it a little bit? Because, enough people who look like me have talked about it for enough time. So it's time that other people talk.
You're amazing. It's a big topic. I think that there are a lot of safe spaces that are not very safe, like actually safe. Like, I think that being a safe space is not always what it is. Like, I think that what we try to do here is just have this like umbrella acceptance and celebration of people. Like,
we're not doing bad things.
Yeah, who are not doing bad things. Yeah. But like, we want people that come here to feel like they're seen and they're valid and they're okay, and they can come here and exist without worry. Like, no one's going to be judging you. No one's going to be like, whatever. Like, we're very, I don't know. It's so hard to like put your finger on it.
Something that we've talked about is we want to make sure that when we say that it is a safe place for everyone, we are saying it's safe for queer people, it's safe for people who practice witchcraft, it's safe for someone who might not be out yet, someone who's like there's so many things that we don't know what people are struggling with. So just creating a space where people can walk in and know that no matter what they're walking in with, that's not a part of their experience today. Like, or it could be if that's what they want it to be. We're here to help guide the experience with them, like whatever they want, and feel good about. And we also are a safe place for people who are not queer, who are not witches, who are
we're just looking for a place to like hang out and exist and be you know at peace, and or like we've been talking about this recently a lot. Like we've had this very impactful visit recently from it was this mother with her like teenage daughter. The teenage daughter had found us online. They came here and the mom was a little uncomfortable at first. Like she came up and she was like tense and she was like not totally there.
Yeah.
But then she started coming out of her shell like the more she was here, and we were talking to her and we're like engaging with her, and she's like, oh, I used to be cool. I used to, and just like, oh, I had the Rocky Horror like LP at my house. I was like, that's so cool. And the more we talked to her, we learned that like she was just stuck in this idea that like, oh, I used to do all these really cool things and now I'm not cool anymore because I'm a mom and I'm this, and I just like life has taken me to a different direction. And that kind of experience, like when we get to talk to somebody and be like, shut up, you're cool. Like, you're so cool. And you don't even know it. And we're constantly like yelling at people in the best of ways, or like if people like have some negative self-talk, we're like, no. Stop. You're beautiful. Yeah. Like that kind of like, we don't want anybody to get out of here and feel bad about themselves, like ever. And that's like a joy to see, like when you see somebody come and like light up from existing and be like, all right, maybe I am cool, and maybe I am like whatever, maybe I look good.
Like your coolness doesn't just end when you like become a mom or you start wearing like a button down
older,
or like whatever it is. Like you're like once cool, always cool.
Yeah.
No, that's so beautiful. And a lot you talked about has actually been spun into song so many times, whether you have 1985 or, Bull Driving Soccer Mom, so this is something that is so, so important because a lot of people, I had an interview when the first single came out in this amazing magazine, Rock Mommy. And it was talking about, the parents, you can be a parent and still be a musician. And the question they asked me was like, well, how do you do both? I was like, I don't separate them. I bring my kids to the recording studio and, we do what's necessary to move forward. And you blend your worlds together, and that's how you have to go to move forward and to survive. And really to talk about how inclusive, these communities that have been marginalized, I'm just going to say it because I can. I've always been a little bit different. I've always been a little bit weird. And the regular, suburban white communities don't necessarily accept people who look like me. And then I got all tatted up, and then they really didn't accept it. So it was me going into like a community of color where people were like, oh no, you're cool. Like whatever, dude, tell me about that tattoo. Or me going into the LGBTQ plus community and just fully being embraced, and not being embraced for any other reason than I'm just an interesting human being and we can just have conversations. That's the acceptance. And that's the part that really I want to hammer home, because these communities that have been marginalized and wrongfully marginalized are the most accepting and loving communities that are out there. So take a step outside yourself. Although the people who are out there and feel that people different than you are not normal, take a step out there and meet these people, hug these people, talk to these people, because the stories are incredible and you can grow so much more. I am so much better of a human being because of the community that have been marginalized, that have embraced me and have loved me unconditionally. And they're out there to help everyone, not just themselves. This isn't a store. This isn't, you know, this person's taking that one cookie from you. No, this is, we're all going to sit down and we're going to have a meal together. And that's how we grow as a society. And I really, 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 really want people to start doing that. Darn it. I'm getting sick and tired of all this nonsense.
We're
here for that.
We're all about that in all aspects of encouragement and acceptance and everything. Yeah.
So let's talk about these surprise bundles you guys have rocking and rolling. Like, where did that idea come from? Like, what's going on with that? The mystery bundles, I love them.
Ooh, we stopped taking those orders and now for a couple of months because we started doing them kind of like we were still kind of a wee shop when we first started.
We were very new.
Very new. And we're like,
still in her apartment.
Yeah, oh yeah. It was still apartment shop. And we're like, oh, it would be fun to like style people and do these like, you know, curated mystery bundles. And it started out like really great. And we're like, okay, this is cool. People loved it. And they were like giving us great feedback. And then TikTok happened. And it just blew us out of the water. Like we had to close the orders then because like we were getting so many
like
that we couldn't. We're still
every minute we were like looking, or we were getting a notification like, okay, another one,
and we're just like, holy cow! And we're still like working through all of those, and we're constantly telling people like, we love you, like please be patient because we're not going to, you know, compromise the work that we do, like the care we put into these things. We want to do just as much as we did when we were a tiny shop that had like 100 people like now. So and for the most part, people are very like accepting of that, and they're like, okay, cool, that's fine, like take your time. And we're you know, we work on those like every day, and
they're really a beautiful insight into people. Like some people will fill them out like very like, you know, my favorite color is blue. I like black clothes
and stripes.
Like bundle me, whatever. Here's my measurements or my size, whatever. But it's something that really connected us with our community was the mystery bundles, because people would write about their style and we would learn, you know, there were people who were getting ready to have top surgery. There were people who had never worn dresses before. There were people who had their bodies changed during quarantine and were unsure how to dress themselves, and were looking to us to help them like find a way to feel a little bit like more themselves. And we loved that part, so much of it. So much of it was like we felt like we knew these people. Like by the time we were done with the bundle, we were like, okay, like this person could be our best friend. Like,
yeah,
you know,
they
send us
stuck
pictures.
with us. Like,
yeah, we still remember them. But honestly, through the mystery bundles was a huge piece of how much, I think that was a huge piece of us learning how much of the community had a need for like just mutual support. I think like there was like just like not being. We saw a lot of loneliness, a lot of like people going through a rough time and like sharing that with us. Like I'm telling you, like our questionnaires that we would get like paragraphs like this, like huge, telling us about like their struggles and stuff, and we just want.
And like we didn't expect these to be also so emotional for us, like too. We will, and sometimes they're funny, like some people, because they always have a little space at the end that they can put whatever they want. Like, here's your last chance to enter something. Like, if you want to say something, if you want to leave us a song recommendation, whatever you want.
A joke.
So sometimes people will send us like ridiculous jokes, like all these like funny things. But then sometimes they'll send us these like paragraphs that we've cried several times, like reading these submissions and being like, oh my God. I have
like the chills thinking about, like there's some that just.
I know, I start getting like emotional just thinking about it. Like that to have people feel comfortable too, to share those things with us. They don't know us in person. They see us on the internet, they see us on videos, on lives, but like they're here, like bearing their emotions to us. Like, this is what I'm going through, and like this is what I want, and it's up to us to like, meet them there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's much bigger, like, of a responsibility.
We did not
than we
anticipate
thought.
what it actually would be. Like what this like, oh, like fun style box. You know, you hear a lot of these, there's like those businesses that will like send you like a style box or whatever. And like, I'm sure our idea probably started somewhere in that realm, but we had no idea what it would move to.
Yeah. And we miss having those out, and we do have big plans for them to come in like a new form.
Yes.
And we have really cool plans that are coming out in the future. That
In the future, I'd love to hear about that on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, my partner in crime, Long Island Raised, Elm City Made, Easy Bluez in the building. Easy Bluez is doing a great job with this interview, but I have one question I'd like to ask these lovely ladies. In 16 days, it's going to be a special holiday. What do the witches have brewed up for Halloween? Please tell me.
Well, we have like, we've brought it up on our post before, the 13 days thing, but we haven't posted like a big thing, but we can tell them.
We can tell them.
Okay. So this part is more like the online community part.
Okay.
We're doing a 13 days to Halloween collection.
Nice.
So we're going to release 13 items every night until Halloween. And then on Halloween, we're going to release 31 items.
Wow.
That's like our run into Halloween. But Halloween weekend will be here at the shop. So Halloween is on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be announcing more about it, but we're going to have like cool things like a discount if you come in costume, and like other surprises.
We have fun here. This is our first Halloween, like as a shop, as a brick and mortar shop. So we're ready to have some fun. We decorated the shop October 1st. We waited, we did it. We have some really cool stuff coming up. Tonight we have, like we mentioned earlier, our first community event, which is kind of like leading into Halloween. We're doing a paint and sip event here where people are coming to paint pumpkins with us.
And sip apple cider. We have a guest artist coming to teach the class, and everybody's going to be sitting here sipping apple cider and painting their pumpkins, which is going to be awesome.
So pumped.
And we also have like other things that we're doing. Like when we because we just renovated the shop like about a month ago, and when we renovated the shop, we have this whole section that we're in that's new. That's the apothecary section that Amanda has been kind of taking the lead on because she's the herbalist. And we've been having a really good time with it here, but we're finally launching this whole section online this weekend. So that's also something that people have been waiting for, like to be able to, because we will have like more resources, because that's something else that we've been talking a lot about too, the witchcraft part. That this community has like a lot of gatekeeping. Like if people are trying to like explore or learn, there aren't a lot of places for them to go and like feel safe to like explore and learn, and like maybe they don't know anything. Maybe they're just looking for their first book, their first crystal. Like I don't know. And I think that we've been also honing that in, and like, okay, like we can be that and be like, okay, like come in, like we can tell you things, like we can show you things,
or point you in a direction of like people who are queer friendly, like people in our realm, who know more than we do. Like we want to make connections between like positive influences and like people, experts, I guess I would say, like
people that have like those skills are like their main skills
that align with this kind of community.
I don't think October could be like, there couldn't be a better time of the year to like launch those things. But that's been all, like our Halloween month has been like jam-packed.
Nice. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yes, I got you. The light bulb again. Now, obviously, when are you going to start combining the two worlds? When are we going to see like Which Bitch Thrift showing up at the table at a show, or because the scene misses you, and even if you're just there to do the witch bitch stuff, as long as you're there, that's really all that the majority of the scene matters. And it's not just me. I had a long conversation with Jamar about you last weekend during the CT Rocks Fest. So, it's not just me. But yeah, so like when can we see that? Like for example, the Cellar. The Cellar has a costume contest on the 28th with incredible groups and stuff going on there. How about you come down and bring some of your wares and do some networking through there or different things like that?
We love doing stuff. We really want to. Like, that's part of our goal too now, like the community building part. Like, we've done, where were we that we had at a concert? Weren't we at a concert in the summer? Festival?
Pride.
Oh, Pride. Yeah, so like, what was that? We set a table at Pride the summer. Nice. It was nice, and because we were trying to do like vending and things like that, and at first we were like just like bringing our whole shop with us and like closing the shop and bringing all the clothes around until Amanda, genius, was
the light bulb went off one day and was like, we have a shop. We're bringing our shop to another location.
That makes no sense.
Make sense
So we just did our first event recently where Amanda was like, let's just do like bring some smaller things, like bring some of our books and some of our like other
we have
about the carriage stuff, and just like raise awareness. And
we have merch t-shirts as well
that we sold at the event. It would be really, now that you're saying that, it's making me think that like it'd be really cool if we could set up at concerts, like as a merch booth, like at cool concerts, like at cool venues with like if there's like a witchy band.
And we've met so many important, incredible, amazing people through community events like that. And community is a huge piece, obviously, for us. We should mention our collaboration collection. Yes. So something that was very important to us from the beginning was, while we were still a small bit, like we are so small, like we were very, 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 we wanted to find a way to support other people too. And we started working with like other local artists or like artists we met online through Witch Bitch. And we started something at the time where like if someone spent a certain amount of money, we would send them a free gift, and it would be whatever that thing was to raise awareness for that artist or whatever it was. And now that we have a brick and mortar shop, we were able to bring all of those things here. Well, we have jewelry that people have made. We have soap, bath bombs,
perfume,
like Witch Bitch exclusive stuff. And it's been amazing to see like what else many of these people have done. One of the people that we work with was just starting out as well, and now they're doing events and like they're like big. It's so cool. It's just really cool to like watch other people.
We like to play fairy godmothers.
We do.
That's why we call ourselves the fairy godmothers of like the queer witches.
Yeah.
We'll just connect them to other people, because then sometimes people come to us, we're like, oh, I'm thinking about like getting into vending, or like, all right, what do you want to do? We'll get you to the people, and we'll just connect people with other people. Like somebody came here one time and she's like, I have to organize this event and I need vendors. I have nothing. I don't know. I'm coming up short. It's in like 3 weeks. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I was like, just sit there. And I'm just sitting there like texting a bunch of people. It's like, all right, got you 2 vendors, 3 vendors, 4 vendors. I'm like, I got you. So we've been doing a lot of that, just connecting people with other people and like just growing. And then we see like them collaborating with each other. And like befriending each other, and we're just here watching. Like,
we've met really cool people in store as well. Like people have come here and been like, oh yeah, like I like just happened to mention they do this like incredible side business. And we're like, what? Tell me more. So we have a community board now. And like, it's been really cool because we really get to see just how people are so talented.
People are
like,
so talented.
People do things that you would never, ever, ever, ever know. And like, I would never know if I didn't meet them here. And it's just, I'm so impressed with, and especially during quarantine, a lot of people seem to have picked up a lot of new skills, a lot of new passions they never knew they had. And a lot of those things are coming forth now. Like, oh, I started this little business during the pandemic. And now like, here we are. And
you see that they're growing and they're like thriving and they're going to like do their own thing. And we're like, that's so cool.
That's so cool.
That's such a joy. And like, we just want to make more of that.
Yeah, no, it really is cool. But unfortunately, as cool as it is, we are running down to our last couple of moments on air. This is a point in time where we love to give it 100% over to you. Feel free to plug all of your social medias, your incredible TikTok that we didn't even get a chance to talk about. Where your store is, what your events are, and how people can truly connect to you. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love what you guys are doing, and I'm 100% a fan, and we'll continue to support. So tell us about yourselves.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So our shop is in Bridgeport. We are at 955 Connecticut Avenue in Bridgeport. We're part of the Bridgeport Innovation Center. And it's sometimes a little tricky to find us, but that's part of the excitement. There are instructions online. And our website's always a good place to be. We update it almost daily. We always have things going on and we try to keep everything in there. So that's witchbitchthrift.com. TikTok is witchbitchthrifttalk. Yes. And that's been a lot of fun. That we did not expect to get into. We just one day were like talking about TikTok, and I just like, Amanda, I am determined to make us relevant on TikTok. I don't understand anything about it, but we're gonna go and do it.
And she did it.
I'm still trying to figure out, but it is a wild ride.
And Instagram is witchbitchthrift.
I feel like Instagram is the easiest way to connect.
Easy to find. Yeah.
And we're on Instagram more than anything. Like we post stories constantly. I always post our morning announcements every morning on Instagram stories, what we're open, what hours are, what's going on that day, like what's coming up that weekend. Like I always have announcements posted for us. And how else? What else do we have? I think that social media wise, that's it. And you can always come to the shop. We're here every day but Mondays. And we're open on weekends from 11 to 7. So we're open a little bit later during the weekends. And what else?
Any other deals besides the mystery bundles?
We're always sending details if you sign up for our newsletter.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Our newsletter has
There you
also been good. So our newsletters have been pretty accurate. And I think also, yeah, just like keep an eye on our Insta, keep an eye on our new newsletters, and yeah, I think that covers it. And just come visit us, come hang out. We like when people come to just hang out
Just
here.
kind of wearing a costume.
Or if you tell us that you saw us here, that you heard us on the radio, we'll
there you go.
we'll treat you nice. How about that?
That
We'll give you
works.
a special treatment.
A high five.
Yeah.
It has been an absolute honor and a privilege. I love what you guys are doing. I hope nothing but the best for both of you and your other partner as well. You guys are amazing. What you do is
And she
extremely
wishes to be
important.
here. She said to say hello. She's out actually running. She's been preparing everything for tonight's event, and she's sorry that she had to miss it, but she said hello.
Awesome. Very,
Thank you
very
for
cool.
having us.
But, of course, it's been awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Behind the brand with myself, Prestige, and Long Island Rays, Elm City Made, Easy Blues on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Wondering what to write write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Spending time all alone, sending my songs through the phone, dreaming of a better home while focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft. I hope the Bluez let this last.
I don't know if the earth is painted